All right, everyone. My name is Reed Nelson. I'm the National Manager of Leagues. This will be our first tutorial on our artistry metrics. This will change often, so stay um, keep updated or I will try to keep you updated on any new changes that we put towards this. This is actually our first recording that we've ever done of the artistry metrics, but this has always been on a PowerPoint document, so we're going to actually be kind of outlining that PowerPoint. So for artistry, it is how we measure our execution. Again, our goal is to be the very best basketball league for our members to follow their passion. This is how we measure that, how we rate you essentially against one another. So every Wednesday, you'll get this document. It's our weekly RYG score. Now, I should note that this is being recorded on December 28th, 2015. We're going to be making a moderate change to this starting on January 1st. The look and feel will be the same, but we'll be kind of switching up some of the categories or columns, if you will. So essentially, you can see here we have our top league up here at Scottsdale all the way down to the bottom league. So anything below a 2.7 is considered below artistry. So it's kind of a red alert if your league is below 2.7. So again, this is how we measure the execution of our programs, and again, we take it very seriously. So if you ever have any questions regarding this, please feel free to reach out to me at any time. Again, I'm going to take you through the metrics as they stand right now. The number one thing we are looking for, or the number one column, I should say, is stats. And very simply stated, we want our box scores to match our game scores. If you do that week in and week out, you receive a 3. If you do not, you receive a 1. If you do not have your game scores posted by noon the following day, you'll also receive a 1 in that category. This, we really do want you to have your scores recorded the evening before you leave the gym that night. There should be really no reason why you don't have them uploaded that night. So let's take a look here. This is an example of a 3. So as you can see, the decision is at 75, downtown's at 54, 75, 54, 75, 54. We want to match those 3 pieces all the way around. The other thing is you want to have the total minutes equaling 220 and 5 starters for each team. If you only have 4 starters, the total minutes will not equal 220. Okay, so if you only have 4 players starting the game, the total minutes will not equal 220. So we just want to make sure that this is accurate from top to bottom for every every league and every score. I tell the RCs and LCs this should be the last thing you do before you go to sleep at night, is check your stats for the games that were just played. This is an example of a 1. 256, 5 starters, but 256 minutes. This is correct down here, 220, but not up here, 256. That's a 1. Same thing as here. Expand this out just slightly. Oops. The box score down here, 89, does not match the game score, 99. Okay, that would be a 1 as well. No individual stats list for either team. If you didn't post stats, again, by noon the next day, that will also be a 1. Okay, let's talk a little bit about photos. This is something we're actually going to be changing moving forward. What we're actually going to be doing is we're going to be rating our leagues based on photos from top to bottom. So best league to worst league, and you'll receive a score within that range. Something to note with photos is I think the most important thing to note is to only post your best photos. Okay, that might mean you only post 5 photos a night. That's fine. Only post your best photos. Only post photos of players wearing either matching team jerseys or an Ultimate Hoops jersey. Tag the photos for the location. So if you're at the Raleigh Lifetime Fitness or Raleigh Lifetime Athletic, tag it as Raleigh Lifetime Athletic. And for any players that you can, tag them. You don't have to be friends with players to be able to tag them on Facebook. So again, this is going to be a little different. We're switching this starting in 2016. We want you to only post your best photos, and we're going to rate them based on best to worst. So if you're seeing your photos towards the bottom of the rankings, we'll definitely be touching base about how we can correct those. Okay, we're actually going to skip this. Just want to give you kind of a quick example of a great photo, great action shot. Okay, first off, they don't have to be action shots. They can be still photos as well. Still photos can sometimes be just as good, if not better, than action shots. But you see the players clearly coming towards the photo or the camera, excuse me. They're in matching team uniforms. This is actually an all-star game. I remember it fondly. Players are tagged, club is tagged. Okay, good clear photo or pretty clear photo. So that's a good example of a nice photo. Okay, here's an example of a poor photo. This would get you a poor rating. Blurry, far too many subjects taken from the sideline. I recommend that you take all your photos from the baseline. That's generally the best place, and to walk around the sidelines during timeouts, take photos during timeouts. You know, again, action shots are hard to take, and it's a lot easier to take a non-action shot. So, okay, we'll talk a little bit about media again. I want you to ignore this for now. We're switching this metric up pretty significantly. We're also going to rate your media from 1 to how many ever leagues we have. We had 32 leagues this year. So, a good media plan includes predictions, power rankings, recap videos, interviews. One thing that we don't want to do is have written game recaps, generally very boring, hot seats, all sorts of media stuff. You know, the best place to look for good media ideas is not necessarily our page. Okay, go to an SI.com or an ESPN.com or even an Us Weekly. And I know it sounds silly, but that's really kind of what direction we want to go in. And I'll share a quick story with you. An LC bought an Us Weekly, and he brought it to me, and he's like, "Oh, here's a article about what's in their bag," and it was at what's in their handbag, and I was like, "Yeah, that's perfect." And he's like, "Really?" It's like, "Yeah, absolutely. What's in your gym bag?" Boom, quick article, quick video. Think outside just the games. Okay, think about featuring the players. If you want any good ideas, go to your RC, come to me. I can help you out. There are some great articles that are on our league's page as well. So take a look at that. But again, look at outside sources. Written game recaps, we want to stay away from those. But predictions, power rankings, hot seats, uh, video recaps, video interviews of players, that type of thing we really want to move towards. So again, 1 to 33 will rank you. If you're towards the bottom, again, that'll be something that we'll be able to work with you on trying to improve. Okay, headlines. I want to take a brief chat about headlines. Again, this is a kind of a poor example because it's our Minnesota Rec League, which actually combines 2 leagues. But let's pretend you're Scottsdale, Arizona. It would say all caps, Scottsdale, comma, Arizona, and then the colon, and then the title. Okay, a great place to look for examples of this is in fact our website. All basically of our current article posters go according to this same metric. So that's something that we always want to move forward on. We also have a great article on posting headlines and posting articles that was in your LC training manual a couple pages up. Okay, a few things here we're going to skip. Chronos. Chronos, I'm speaking more towards RCs here, but for region coordinators, we have a Chronos guide in the region coordinator handbook. You'll be graded based on that. This is essentially how your team members clock in and clock out. So for all referees, statisticians, and scoreboard operators, they will clock in by game count. All league coordinators, they will clock in hourly. Again, look for more on this in your RC handbook. Forfeits. bad member experience when they come to the gym and there's a forfeit. So you get a 3 if there's no forfeits, 1 if there's a forfeit. What we're going to do, we're going to switch this around slightly, so we'll actually be scoring you based on your forfeit percentage. So if you have 100 games in the quarter and only 1 forfeit, that's a 1% forfeit percentage. That's actually very good. You're not going to get a 1 for that. You'll get a very good score. If you have 50 games and 8 forfeits, that's a 16% forfeit percentage. That's very high. You're going to get a much lower score. Okay, so something that we're going to stress this quarter is essentially how many forfeits per game did you have? Um, you know, is it out of your control? A little bit, but we try to stress to have larger team sizes and very clearly communicate with your league members. That is the best way to avoid any type of forfeit. Okay, revenue per player. We're actually going to skip over that. We'll touch on that in a second. Okay, so with revenue per player, essentially what we're going after there is we're going after, we want everybody in your league to be paid up. Okay, now a new rule that we put into place last quarter, Q4 2015, was players cannot register at the scores table. They need to either pay point of sale, use LT Bucks, or pay online. Essentially what that means is every player has to pay before they can play. Very simple, but really not simple. Okay, so what we're going to do is if you're at an RPP of 100% or more, you'll get a 3. Anything below that, and you won't get a 3. Very simply put, you have to pay to play Ultimate Hoops. Okay, it's not oh, I'll pay you later type of a situation. So if you do it that way, you're not going to have any issues. You have to pay before you can play. The last metric that we're actually adding for leagues is start time. So we are on the same start time nationwide, 4 quarters a year, beginning in January, April, July, and October. Okay, and we want to make sure that you start your league along with all the other leagues nationwide. So for this upcoming quarter, it'll be January 3rd that we want, or the week of January 3rd that we want all leagues to start. If you start that week, you'll get a 3 in that metric. If you start after that week, you won't get a 3 in that metric. Again, very simple. A very simple concept that can be very difficult to execute. We don't want our players to dictate when the league is going to start. We set the time for them and they follow. Something that's, again, something that we're really trying to make a point of emphasis this upcoming year is to be starting all of our leagues on time. Another thing that you'll notice is that in the past we've done the RYG every week and you've received it every Wednesday night. We're actually going to be vastly changing from that concept. We're going to be gathering data over the course of a month, and you'll receive 1 score at the end of the first month of the quarter, which will be the end of January, 1 score at the end of the second month of the quarter, at the end of February, which will then be combined into your score for the quarter. This gives us a lot more opportunity to gather more data. You won't get as many report cards, or reports, if you will, back to you. But it's really going to allow us to dig a lot deeper and work a lot more with you on areas that we can improve. When I see these scores down here in the 2.2s and 2.4s, I take a lot of the blame for that because there's not a lot of the proper communication coming from me going down to the team. And I'm going to promise to be better at that. When I see those 2.2s or 2.4s or 2.5s, I'm going to work with you very closely on making sure that we can bring that up to a 2.7 minimum. Okay, so again, my name is Reed Nelson. I'm the National Manager of Leagues for Ultimate Hoops. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can go to either your region coordinator, region manager, or myself. My email address is rnelson@lifetimefitness.com. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.